Hello my friends and viewers, today we are going to review first carrier-based naval fighter which was capable of reaching the speed of sound, the Douglas F4D Skyray, which was later redesignated as F6 Skyray. The Skyray was designed to meet a Navy requirement issued in 1947 for fighter aircraft that could intercept and destroy an enemy aircraft at an altitude of 5,000 feet, 550, or for us Europeans 15,240 meters, within 5 minutes of the alarm being sounded. It required the new plane to have an insane climbing rate and of course an afterburner to increase the speed of acceleration to the maximum speed, and also to increase the climb rate. The Navy also wanted an aircraft that followed the designs and research of the German aerodynamicist Alexander Lippisch, who moved to the United States after World War II. For those who don't know, Alexander Lippisch was responsible for the development of the first in the human history rocket fighter Messerschmitt 163, responsible to such an extent that at first the Germans wanted to name it Lee 163 in name of Lippisch. However, since the whole research and production thing was funded by the Messerschmitt firm, it was renamed Messerschmitt Me 163. The F4D Skyray was a white delta wing design with long, sharply swept, rounded wings. The design was named for its resemblance to the manta ray. The thick wing roots contained the air intakes feeding a single turbojet engine. Fuel was contained both in the wings and in the deep fuselage. Leading edge slats were fitted for increased lift during takeoff and landing, while the trailing edges were mostly aileron control surfaces. Additional pitch trimmers were fitted in board near the jet exhaust and were locked upwards on takeoff and landing. The Westinghouse J-40 turbojet was the intended power plant, but Douglas took a conservative view and designed in contingency options for other power plants. The J-40 proved troublesome and was eventually cancelled, and the Skyray was fitted instead with Pratt & Whitney JP57, a more powerful but larger engine. Production aircraft were not delivered until early 1956, while the United States Marine Corps received their first in 1957. In total, 490 F4D-1, later redesignated F6 in the Unified Designation System, aircraft were produced. Its unique design also played a part in making the Skyray one of the best-known early jet fighters. It was affectionately known as the Ford, after the 4 and D of its designation, in short form Ford. In 1953, Edward H. Heinemann was awarded the Collier Trophy in recognition of his design work on the F4D. In April 1956, first VC-3 was the first squadron which operated the F4D-1, and it was responsible for the anti-air defense of the United States. The US Marine Corps also flew the Skyray. The Skyray was designed exclusively for the high altitude interception role with a high rate and angle of climb, and also with not really big supply of fuel. It set a new time to altitude record, flying from a standing start to almost 5,000 feet, around 15,000 meters, in 2 minutes and 36 seconds, all while flying at a 70 degrees pitch angle. As a dedicated interceptor, the F4D was unsuited for the multi-mission capabilities soon in demand, so it had a short career in Navy and Marine Corps and never took part in the Vietnam War. In the game, this plane is mostly troubled by the bad AIM-9B Skywinder missiles, who, like most early hits, anyway, you know, the Chinese and Soviet early head seekers were copies of American early Sidewinders. And like other early head seeker missiles, they are very inaccurate, can lose their target, and only 2 out of 10 missiles launched will probably hit their targets, judging from my experience. However, in the last few updates they became a bit better, but it may be a placebo effect. You just witnessed how I killed an enemy mister with autocannon burst. And about autocannons, unfortunately you have 130 rounds of ammunition, which means each of your barrels, which are in the wings by the way, have only 65 rounds, and given your gun's insane failure rate, it means that you will spend all your ammunition in a few short bursts. So always fire when you are sure you are going to hit enemy, and be careful. When you cannot hit enemy with a cannon burst, use your missiles. Sometimes, as you can see now, sometimes they do hit enemies. Anyway, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and please support Ukraine in whatever way you can. Slava Ukraini, and see you later.